You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell.
Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
Welcome, everyone, to Cult of Campbell, the year-end review for 2022. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
And what a year it has been for us here at the Cult Talk Net and Cult of Campbell. It's been something. It's been a groovy year.
No kidding. It has been a heck of a year, a very groovy year.
Yeah, this is our second year doing Cult of Campbell. We started back, I believe, in May of 2021.
Wow.
So we've done this for a year and a half now. Isn't that crazy?
It feels not long enough, and yet longer than it has been at the same time.
We've watched a lot of stuff.
I thought I watched a lot of movies before Cult Talk Net, but we have watched a lot of movies.
It gets a bit crazy at times. It really does with the amount of stuff. Especially, the holidays are over, thank God, because those holiday months are insane.
They're butt kickers. Yeah.
Yeah,
our butts.
Yeah, we have a lot of shit we put out there that last quarter of the year. It is ridiculous. Yeah. We're trying really hard to better plan this year, so it's not so hectic. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think this time we planned better for Culttober. Christmas got a little ahead of us there.
Yeah. Cult Talk Christmas kind of was a little more harder than what I thought it was going to be for just the week. For a solid week. That's 7 episodes. That's pretty.
Right.
We did 6 episodes total. That's a lot. That was a lot of stuff here toward the end of the year. So, but we did it. We made it through. Minor hiccups here and there, but we always pull through in the end. That's the thing I like about our group. We always seem to pull it together.
Get that grit.
Yeah, we
determination.
We all work together pretty well. So here we are. This is Cult of Campbell. We did this last year. You and I did the year-end review where we talked about everything we did that year for Cult of Campbell, and I figured it's only fitting for us to come back and do that again. Since it has been a pretty prolific year for Cult of Campbell.
Yeah, I know. Some things are a little hard to believe. For just year 2 of Cult of Campbell, I feel like there have been some crazy things happen that.
Oh yeah, it's crazy to think that last year we were so excited because Bruce Campbell liked one of our Instagram posts.
That was our peak, baby.
That was our peak.
We were like,
we did it. We made it. Yeah, we capped 2021 off with that. That was the highlight. And,
got that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Little did we know
what 2022 would hold. That's wild to think back on that, because I don't even think we'd even conceived it as a possibility that we would have gotten to where we get to at the end of this year. I don't think we even conceived it as a possibility. No, me neither. I mean, it's crazy. I know we had heard about Bruce Fest, and I think we'd joked about, wouldn't it be cool if we went there, or we should try to go there. And
careful what you joke about. You just might get it.
I like to put things out in the universe.
Manifest.
And next stop is Bulgaria.
Oh my! You could use your powers for good. I'm just saying that is an option. It worked out for Bruce Fest time.
It did work out Bruce Fest. No.
Bulgaria he made Bulgaria sound pretty terrible.
Well,
that was you don't shoot after dark.
Make sure you have dog food in your pockets
in your
times.
Pockets. To feed all the hungry stray dogs. Yeah,
you'll be all right. 2021 was I think the year we decided pretty early in the year to move Cult of Campbell to the bi-weekly schedule.
Yeah.
Previously it had been a weekly schedule, and we were running pretty ragged on that. That's a Cult of Campbell takes a lot of commitment per episode. It takes I would say per episode there's about 6 hours that go into it. 6-7 hours probably, because you have to watch the movie, you have to record it, then it has to get edited and put out. And there's probably about I'd say about an 8-hour time period per episode if you want to get into it, with all the editing and everything that goes on the back end of it. So
Yeah, definitely. And then, trying to, you handle a lot of the schedule for Cult of Campbell, thank God. But it's still, I imagine hurting us is like hurting cats.
Oh yeah,
Trying to get everybody, everyone's so busy, and
it's crazy because we have Cult of Campbell isn't our only podcast. The thing, I mean, it's not you and I's only podcast. We have 2 other podcasts that we run independently from this. So it can get a little crazy. 'Cause like I said, it does take a big commitment to record an episode of Cult of Campbell. Because you guys sit down and watch, an hour and a half, 2 hour long movie, and then spend, usually the same amount of time to record the episode on that, and have
and
Mike
any
get it out.
research that any of us do ahead of time on the production or anything like that, and then it takes a lot to make sure that Mike is staying on task. You have to really be on him.
Yeah, you gotta be on him.
Crack the whip every now and then.
He'll hear it.
He will. Mike hears everything.
Yeah, but we made the decision to move it to bi-weekly. It also was kind of a decision we had to make too, because that first year, 2021, we burned up a lot of the surface level content.
Yeah,
a lot of the big hitters. Yeah. We burnt through the Evil Dead saga.
Yeah,
we burnt through Bubba Hotep, even some of the more popular like B movies, like My Name Is Bruce and Alien Apocalypse and Man with the Screaming Brain. We went through and burnt those up. So came 2022, we were really scrounging for some of the content because Bruce has done a lot of stuff, but some of it's kind of hard to find aside from that stuff. So and I
don't know how you track down some of this stuff.
We worked pretty hard. Luckily, YouTube is a pretty good resource.
Right.
I don't know how it's crazy to me. Like we upload a video with like 30 seconds of footage of something and we get flagged. But there's people that put like full movies up on YouTube that have been there for like a decade. And there's no fucking problem. But we upload a video with like 30 seconds of something and we get flagged and take the video down. It's nuts how that works. Because a good bit of the content we reviewed this year was found on YouTube, and I'll call them out as we get to them. But so we kicked off the year. We knew we was going to do some lesser known Bruce stuff, which I think was really fun to do the lesser known stuff. It was out of the norm, and it was things I hadn't seen. That was the cool thing, is reviewing stuff that it was my first time and your first time watching them, and whoever else on the episode. Like it was pretty neat. Because we kicked things off with Assault on Dome 4, the 1996 Die Hard in Space.
Die Hard in Space,
which is a love-hate movie for me, because I hate every aspect of that movie that does not directly involve Bruce Campbell. And I also hate Bruce Campbell in it because he's so fucking good in this movie. Yeah. And it's wasted on Assault on Dome 4. He is. It's great. It's such a good role. Him as that's I think might have been the first time I had seen him as a villain that I can think of. And he's so good in it as just this like hateable, dopey bad guy.
His bad guy was pretty, he was a lot of fun. He was fun to hate. He was like, a lot of it was just all talk. You couldn't really, see all the heinous stuff that he was supposed to have done. But the way he would talk about it, like, this is just one of the most heinous motherfuckers you could have ever met. And
I thought one of the cool quirks they gave him is how he's like quoting all this like Shakespeare and stuff. But you find out later that it's like all inaccurate.
Yeah, just like misquotes. And he's,
that was great.
Full of them. Yes, that was so good.
And this is one of the movies we found on YouTube in its entirety. It's here on YouTube, so if you want to watch it, you can check that out. Yeah. It's a great, fun flick. It's because of Bruce. If it didn't have Bruce Campbell in it, this would be a movie that I'm sure no one would ever talk about ever, because it's so forgettable. The main character, Chase Morin, I can't even tell you who played him.
Yeah,
but
I even told you the character's name before you mentioned it.
No, but it's very forgettable. But man, Bruce Campbell in that movie, for whatever reason, is just chewing scenery every time he's on there with this bad guy. I forget his name. We talked about it a lot during.
During Bruce Fest, we brought it up.
Alex Wyndham.
Alex
I
Winter.
believe. I think
There we
it was.
go. Yep, that sounds right.
Man, that was one of the most spectacular prison escape sequences ever put to screen.
Riveting.
Oh yeah, it's great, and it follows Die Hard and Die Hard 2 to like a T, pretty much. Like there's like all these bits you can take from those two movies, and they're in this. And they just set it in space, but you would forget it's in space because it's just some like factory, I'm sure, like some old warehouse that they've cleared out because that's about the only space element there is to it.
Yeah,
keyboards on walls. That's like the that in the 1990s that was the future.
High tech, baby.
Yeah, keyboards were going to be mounted vertically on the walls. The future is here. It's a technological advancement at its peak. In the 90s. So.
In the 90s.
And like I said, it's a fun flick. I loved it. If you haven't checked it out, check it out.
Yep.
If you can find a Bruce Campbell supercut from it, check that out first because that's really all you need.
That'd be good. You know what a cut I'd like to see is John McClane from Die Hard. Cut in as the protagonist, and then just basically Bruce Willis's scenes and Bruce Campbell's scenes. Bruce and Bruce. There we go.
Man, could you imagine that? Oh, that's a shame they never were in a movie together.
Oh, no, they weren't.
Bruce Willis is retiring, I think, this year. So it's a shame. That'd have been fantastic. Well, there's your project, Eric. I know you never get enough projects.
You're right.
So you're always looking for something to do. So
exactly. Who needs a moment to himself? You know?
No. You got stuff. Yeah, you're always looking for something. And another Bruce Campbell role, something I never heard of before. Actually, Urs found this. Like I remember we was recording. It might have been we was recording Assault on Dome 4, and we were talking in the pre or the post recording or whatever about what are we going to do for this next? Because it wasn't a period of time where I had like a time during the day and he had time. It was like all three of us had like a couple weeks where we didn't have something to do on Wednesdays or some shit like that. So we're like, well, what do we do next? And Urs like, hey, I found this cop movie with Bruce Campbell in it, and it's on YouTube. So we went and found it. It's called In the Line of Duty, Blaze of Glory. And this came out in 1997 and was based on a true story, which I'm pretty sure this is our first based on a true story movie we ever watched with Bruce in it. And well, interestingly enough, so this was about a man by the name of Jeff Erickson. Yeah, there was this couple in the 90s who this is based on a true story. They were like modern day Bonnie and Clyde. This is the second movie based on them. The first one starred Luke Perry from 90210, I believe. And this one came up. This one right here, I guess, is regarded as the more factual of the two.
Really?
So there's that.
Wow. All right. Good.
It's got
good job.
And it stars Bruce Campbell, and it also stars the woman from Full House got sent to jail because she was doing the college tuition stuff.
Yeah. She went to jail, like in real life? No kidding.
I think so. I think she got charged with that, right?
Celebrities don't do bad things. That's crazy.
No, they don't. Huh. I don't follow much news outside of what happened to Bruce Campbell directly, so I'm not sure what happened.
Right. Because who cares about the rest?
Yeah, who cares about the rest? Fuck them. The world's going to hell. I don't want to hear about anything else unless it directly impacts Bruce Campbell.
There we go. Yeah, Bruce must be protected.
It was interesting that the guy that directs this movie, like he did a whole line of these cop movies in the 90s, these direct-to-video. That's In the Line of Duty was like the name of the series. It was like a made-for-TV movie cop action flick, so it would pop up on random TV stations, I'm sure like TBS or TNT or USA Network, something like that in the 90s, which those were a hotbed back in the 90s. I miss that time period where there was like cheap horror movies and sci-fi movies and action movies on TV. It's a different
those
time.
Days will come again.
Maybe. And that was In the Line of Duty. I believe Urs and I gave that a Groovy.
Oh, nice.
Because he did really good. There was a scene where he has a ridiculous mustache for whatever reason. Now, you watched that movie, I believe, but we were on the episode.
I watched it. Yeah.
Then after that, we posted our first watch along for Cult. We did other watch alongs with I think at that point we'd done Trick or Treat and Krampus.
Right.
As holiday special. We posted our first Cult of Campbell watch along with Alien Apocalypse. And that was because I think we got hit with a snowstorm, and for a reason we didn't have time to record, so we put these up. Now, the watch-alongs were originally our concept for Patreon content, but we never fully realized the Patreon. We never went that route. But back in the day, it used to take us it used to be a lot harder for us to record these episodes. We record everything in person. Now we do everything remote because I live further away. Mike lives further away.
Right.
The Frosts and Eric all live in different places. So it's a lot harder for us all to meet up and record in person. So we record everything remotely. But back in the early days of Cult of Campbell, we recorded everything in person. We'd meet up at my house or the Frost house. And we'd watch the movie. We'd make a whole day out of it. We'd watch a movie, record the episode, and it'd be a whole thing.
Yep.
And our idea was take these watch-alongs and use them as content for behind a paywall, you know.
Right.
Subscribe to Patreon, you get this free watch-along. You get this watch-along with the content. We never realized that, and then luckily we had these saved up because it saved our ass because we had like no episode up. I believe we had no episode there to do it. So we pulled this out of the drive and threw it up on. It actually fared pretty well. I think it got flagged on YouTube, but the pod release actually didn't fare too bad. I think it actually got a pretty decent amount of downloads. So
downloads. Yeah.
So if we ever get bored, we can do that. If we ever get desperate for content, we can keep that for backgrounds.
We did record a lot of watch-alongs.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. I often think about how fun it would be to release the beta episodes.
Oh my gosh. I've thought I'd have to go back and listen to them to see just like, man, because that would have been, over 2 years ago because we did several beta episodes leading up to actual content we'd release just to get our groove and to learn, a lot of us hadn't like podcasted before. I think you and Michael had.
Me and Mike did back in the day. We used to have a podcast where we interviewed local musicians, but we did beta episodes on Jurassic Park where we did like basically we kept like we were testing out the format of the Cult of Campbell where we was focusing on the actor, not the movie. So we did Jurassic Park for Jeff Goldblum, Tremors for Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah.
Snakes on a Plane for Samuel Jackson. I believe you, Mike, and Urs did Employee of the Month for Ryan Reynolds or Waiting for Ryan Reynolds, I think it was.
Yeah, Waiting. It was Waiting. Yeah, that's right.
So we did stuff like that. And I often like wonder like what it'd be like to go back and listen to those.
I know. I'd probably cringe. I would.
I'm sure I would. I remember the first time like leading. That's the thing. Saying you want to do a podcast, such an easy thing to say. It's like, I'm gonna do a podcast, and you just sit around with your friends, you bullshit. That's not how it works. Like it's and like I was so like gung ho about like let's just start recording, let's get this stuff going. And Mike was the one who was like, you guys need to do some betas.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we did because I remember I think it was either Jurassic Park or Tremors, like whichever one that was first. We watched where we did the episode. I remember afterwards just feeling so defeated. I was like, that was shit. I was like, wow, that was bad. I would not listen to that podcast. Yeah, it was awkward. Yeah. It was a symphony of yeahs and huhs and
that's right.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, it was like it reminded me of the seagulls from Finding Nemo where they're all like mine, except we were, yeah.
Yeah, I remember after that, just listen back to it because Mike would cut it and he'd put it on the drive and I'd listen to it on my way to work, whatever. And I was like, this is awful. There's no way we're gonna be able to do this podcast. And luckily, we got into a groove where we was doing like beta episodes like every week.
And we found the groove, and we felt ready.
Found the groove. Even the early episodes of Cult of Campbell were a little rough, but now we have a pretty decent flow. We pod. It's nuts. Our schedule now. Like we podcast probably what 2 or 3 times a week. 2 times a week maybe at the most. Like I know most weeks I'm doing 2 a week. Hell, this week I've got 3 podcasts I got to do. I'm doing Cult of Campbell, Cult of Conspiracy. I'm doing that podcast that Bailey got us on. So
great. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's nuts.
It's a lot. It's becoming more and more full time as we go, isn't it?
It start paying us like full time. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be great. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Listen to this
Tell
stuff.
Your friends.
Yeah.
Buy our merch. We don't have merch.
No, we don't have merch yet.
No.
Yet. Well, that's kind of the next phase. You never know. You might see some Cult Talking That merchandise coming here soon. Never know. And then a movie that you and I luckily had the pleasure of finally seeing in English. You and I, for the Valentine's Day special, the very first Cult Talk Net Valentine's Day special, you and I reviewed Lunatics, a love story from 1991. Our very first Ted Raimi-led movie.
Yeah. The first lead role that we covered of Ted Raimi.
And that was a journey.
Yeah.
That was a journey itself. So the way we did that, you watched it in Spanish, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched it in Spanish.
Eric watched it in Spanish.
Yep.
I watched on YouTube. Yeah.
Yep.
It was on YouTube. I watched clips on YouTube in English.
In English, but not the whole movie.
Not the whole movie.
Got clips of it.
I read reviews of it. And then we spent the review trying to piece everything together and make sense of it.
That was that was a fun one because it was very much like you would tell, okay, so this, I read that this happened and I was like, oh, that's what that was. Because that's a very interesting way I almost wish we could set things up to cover more movies in that way.
You want to find more?
One person sees only like the visual stuff, and then the other person like reads the synopsis and puts it. I don't know, make a game of it somehow.
That's fun.
That was interesting. That was a fun way to do it.
Hey, if we come up with a clever enough name, I'm down.
All right, yeah, that's all you need for Ty.
That's all I need.
Or for a clever name.
Yeah, if the name isn't clever enough to stick on a T-shirt, I don't want to be part of it. But if you can come up with a name I can put on a T-shirt or a pin, I'm there for it. So.
Then there it is. Okay, we'll go to the drawing board. If you have any name suggestions, then
we got Cultober, very Cult Talk Net Christmas,
Cultober the Return,
Burn November. Me and Mike camp with Summer of Sam camp with.
There was one we found. We were talking about one at Bruce Fest.
Fanuary.
Yeah, that's a
whole thing
already. Yep. So
already exists.
It exists. It wasn't on the table for us,
unfortunately. But I think I camp with a good one. We'll review her later. We'll revisit that here. And we finally, speaking of Bruce Fest, we actually got to see this movie in English for the first time at Bruce Fest.
Yes, we did.
With Ted Raimi.
With Ted Raimi himself. He was there. We saw him. And
afterwards, you and I got to lead a panel with Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi.
Yes, we did.
That's surreal.
It really is. Like, shared the stage with them. Yep. I handled it like a champ. Ty was a little nervous, but wait.
Do you remember much about? What do you remember of that?
I remember you announcing them coming onto the stage, and then I remember shaking their hands and thanking them as they left the stage. Apparently, I was shaking like a leaf the whole time.
Like a leaf. Yeah. I looked over a couple of times and you were just like, it was like a hummingbird. And I didn't want to I was like, man, should I say hey, are you okay? But I didn't want to make it worse by, acknowledging it and then make you aware that you were doing it. Cause then I was like, that'd probably make it so much worse because
just look at you with the wide shaking eyes. Like,
and then I was also worried if I was nudge you and be like, hey, you all right? Bruce would see me acknowledging it, then he would acknowledge it, and then that would make it so much worse.
Make it way worse. Just just smell that blood on the water.
Yeah. I kept looking over at your hands holding the microphone. The mic was just shaking. I was like, hopefully you have that off. I was like, hopefully he at least has that microphone off. Be professional.
I don't know if I did or not.
Otherwise, the mic just picks up just the whole time. It's that was surreal. We started out the year with watching that in Spanish, then watching English, then hosted a panel with Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi and talked about this movie.
Boy, we came for full circle in the best way. That was great. Yeah.
Wild. Then we followed up with Congo, which was something I was not I know we talked about that early on in the Cult of Campbell lineup, and I was dodging it. It's there isn't enough Bruce Campbell in it. Well, then 2022 came. We needed content, so
we needed something.
We became a little more lax on what we consider Bruce Campbell content.
It's not the quantity of the Campbell; it's the quality.
Yeah. And this is notable because this is of course Bruce Campbell's I would say the biggest budget film he's been part of. I don't know if that still holds up, but at the time it was like a major thing. You know, this is Michael Crichton, summer blockbuster, hot off the heels of Jurassic Park. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? He got to be part of it. This is also notable because this is the debut of Bailey on Cult of Campbell.
Yes. A wild Bailey appears. That's true. She had been on some other shows, but at this point, this was
her big debut on Cult of Campbell. We got the little character made up for and everything. Yeah, that was something like, I know Ben was very happy to do it. Usually I force Ben to be on some shitty stuff. So this is my gift to him to make up for all the stuff that I had to that he had to sit through. He got to talk about Congo in that one, which I really like that movie. And it doesn't have a lot of Bruce in it, but the bit of Bruce we get is pretty good. He shows some like true terror in that, and it's not like cartoony terror. It's like legitimately terrifying stuff. I wish we would have got more of Bruce in that. I think he should have played the main character in it.
The lead. He would have been great as the lead.
He would have. I'm not a big fan of that guy that was the lead. He's very forgettable.
Yeah, I honestly already forget who that was.
And one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite things to have at our disposal, is if we're ever in need of emergency Bruce content, we luckily have Xena and Hercules to pull from any point.
Absolutely. Yes. Because those are always fun to watch.
Always fun to watch. Yeah. He's usually, if he's an episode, the episode is usually centered around him because he's a special guest.
Right. Yeah.
So we got to do a couple of those this year. We did Xena, King of Assassins, and that's notable because this is the first episode of in that universe to feature Joxer the Mighty, played by Ted Raimi. And Atilicus, played by Bruce Campbell. This is the first episode to feature them together. And fun episode. I love getting to go back to these episodes because it's just such a nostalgic show for me. And they hold up. They're just as fun as I didn't build up this false memory in my head of them being any better than what they actually are.
Right. Where, that kind of like rose tinted, glasses looking back sort of deal. You don't have.
Right.
Yeah, they really do. I agree with you. Because, I thought maybe I liked the Xena stuff and the Hercules stuff because, like pretty people in, pretty costumes and
it's fantasy.
But no, it's like, it is still a lot of fun to watch. Still very entertaining. And
the other episode we did, which was, so we did that in March, and we actually won't skip ahead here to May. We did Hercules, the end of the beginning. And we did that one because this features my favorite Bruce, Double Bruce.
Double Bruce. A double dose of Bruce.
Two Atilikai in this.
Atilikai, yeah.
We got to see double.
And we made this joke before, but I'll say it again. Bruce is really good at playing with himself. That was, it was a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed it.
I love watching Bruce play with himself.
I love watching Bruce play with himself. The more of that I can get, the better.
If you see a movie has Bruce playing himself, you're in for a good time.
You really are.
You can guarantee that.
Yeah. Thank you, Bruce, for playing with yourself for us to watch.
And we did our first book review for Cult of Campbell.
We did.
And this was interesting. We did Man with the Screaming Brain, the comic.
A comic.
Yes. Dark Horse Comics put out a Man with the Screaming Brain comic book that's direct adaptation of the Man with the Screaming Brain film script. Now, that movie, notably, there's a lot of people really like that movie. And I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And I think there's like some serious flaws that, in budget. And I think people maybe like it just because it's Bruce and it's a project that he was passionate about.
Yeah, it was a passion project of his, but like, he'll talk about how much trouble that they had with that shooting stuff. So, and I just think it shows that's, Yeah.
Because there's like some major like budgetary stuff in there, like, the bar scene is like clearly a garage with some tables in it. The fancy restaurant is clearly, I don't know, maybe a garage with a table in it. I don't know.
I think they use like the same like garage or warehouse space for a couple of different scenes.
Yeah, and like the 5-star eatery buffet is like like a table with like some paper plates of
it might
random
have been, like,
shit on it.
Table with a tablecloth over it.
Yeah, they might as well have hot dogs laid out on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's just a picnic. It kind of looked like.
Yeah. But the comic is great because the comic, you don't have the same constraints you would a movie. It's all ink and paper. Whatever you can put on those pages, you can realize, as long as you can realize it on paper, you can put it out. So the comic book is a much more faithful adaptation of what the true vision was. And it does a much better job telling that story because it sets it in that kind of gothic, I guess maybe a Universal Monsters type vibe to it.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting. And I think that they weren't able to get that vibe in the movie so much because of we heard Bruce say they're not filming at night. So that does kind of lose a lot of your ability to create that kind of mood.
Yeah. And I guess that's something I didn't really notice my first time watching is, it all does take place at night, in daylight, which is not good if you want to do like a thriller. I mean,
yeah, you're going to want some darkness for those like broad daylight for some of that stuff just is not the tone. No,
especially when broad daylight just further exposes you're filming it in the back alleys of Bulgaria.
Yep.
But the comic does a great job. It's nighttime. It's rainy. It's moonlit.
Yeah,
it's great.
Much more like Frankenstein. Those kind of Frankenstein vibe movies.
So if you can get your hands on the Man with Screen Brain comics, that is the superior way to enjoy that story because it did make it a lot. I enjoyed the story a lot more.
Me too.
In that context. But yeah, I noticed at Bruce Fest, I actually got my picture taken with a couple that was dressed like the Man with Screen Brain, which was cool. That's cool to see.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, there's people that really enjoy this movie and good on them. But definitely check out the comic because that is a much more enjoyable experience. So rolling into April, we decided to do a double take on this. So Bruce, for all we know him, Evil Dead, Man with Screen Brain, Army of Darkness. We know him for Bubba Hotep, all this. But he actually has a pretty decent TV career outside of Xena and Hercules. We know him as Atilicus. We know him from those. He's been the lead of two major TV shows. The first of which being The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., a Wild West movie or Wild West TV show with some sci-fi elements peppered in there. Eric, what did you think of that? Because I don't remember, you didn't really enjoy it that much, did you?
The Briscoe County Jr., right?
Yeah.
I think it's hard for me to remember exactly. We'll have to.
I don't think you were on the episode, but I think you watched it, didn't you? Or tell me I'm mistaken.
Pretty sure I get that mixed up with Jack of All Trades. I think Jack of All Trades was the one I didn't watch.
Okay.
We'll have to revisit. Yeah, go back on these episodes.
Man, go back and listen. So Briscoe County Jr., it's a Wild West show. Cowboy is all practical. I mean, it's a fun show. Ben didn't like it, which I was very surprised by because I thought this was the thing he was going to really enjoy. He hated it. I loved it. It's such a fun show.
And I'm a sucker for cowboy movies, so I would imagine I would have liked that. Going, if I were to.
It's on Tubi. They put it on Tubi recently, and as they did with the next show we have coming up, which was Jack of All Trades. Now, Briscoe County Jr. came out in '93. Jack of All Trades came out in 2000. This is notable for being one of the last live action primetime half-hour format shows.
Wow.
For a while, for maybe on cable. This was revisionist history. It's a historical piece, but it's all revisionist. There's characters that do not exist anywhere near the same time period that all interact in this. And Bruce plays a spy for the president. And he is he's over in Europe, I believe. He's trying to stop Napoleon's stranglehold on Europe. So great show. One of my favorite TV theme songs ever. It's amazing. Fun show. Yeah. Pure revisionist history. They don't take themselves too seriously, but it's like swashbuckling action. Swinging on ropes, shooting cannons, all that stuff, sliding down poles. All the fun stuff you'd want. It was all practical. There's not a lot of CGI in this. I don't think they CGI much. It's all practical. Like, it's such a throwback show. And again, find this on Tubi. If you have an urge to watch it, it's an easy watch. Half hour. I think it comes out to 22 minutes total.
Oh, nice. Yep.
I would definitely suggest at least watching the first episode.
See if it catches your interest.
Now, the next one, we talk about this at Bruce Fest. Going Back. 1983. Bruce's second film ever.
Yep, second feature ever.
Yes, and it stars him in this coming of age A movie, coming of age, like student film.
Yeah, basically student film, from what I gather. Yep. The director, it sounds like he just kind of got a grant to make a movie. Like he's more of an art student, and since has become more of an artist. When I looked into him for the movie, he, it was all about his artwork and stuff. Is it like a painter? But yeah, no, he put together a really, in my opinion, beautiful story that that hit home in a lot of ways for me, and I think would for a lot of people, because it was a pretty human experience. Kind of, you could also call it boring.
Yeah, you could.
Arguably call it a boring movie, and I wouldn't fault you for that, uncultured swine. But
I thought it was a little boring. It was. I did enjoy the Bruce in it. I don't know.
Yeah, they talk about all the interesting stuff instead of showing it, which is usually a no-no in movies in general. But I think it worked for this one because of what the subject was supposed to be. But it's such
a staple for low budget movies. So that's how you do it.
Yeah, really. Yeah. At the same time, like, what can you do? Yeah.
You talk about the battle instead of showing it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then we had another movie I'd never seen before. This was one I wanted you on for the simple fact that it's supposedly a one take. And this is 1997's Running Time, a bank heist movie that's not Reservoir Dogs.
It's not Reservoir Dogs,
but it definitely seems to fall in that same vein. Yeah. This was supposed to be a one-take movie, but you can definitely tell there's more than one in this.
Yeah, they were not hiding not so well some of those cuts and stuff. Like some of them were kind of just blatant moves, like it just kind of like went to black for a moment for whatever,
right.
Oh, we're moving through a doorway. Oh, it's black. And now we're out here, it's fine. One takes are hard.
Yeah, they are. You make a whole movie out of it.
Yeah, seriously. That's a big ask.
That was Josh Becker too, who we have come to know. He's from Lunatics. He directed Alien Apocalypse. He directed several episodes of Hercules and Xena. He worked on I believe the set design department or cost. He worked in one of the departments on the original Evil Dead. That's how he got kind of paired up with Bruce and them.
Got in with the Raimi crew.
Yeah, he's a constant like cohort with them.
Yeah, he's a name that every time it comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, Josh Becker.
And Bruce had a lot of good things to say about him. Bruce said he's like one of his favorite directors he ever worked with.
Really?
Yeah, at Bruce Fest, yeah, he was talking about him during the Lunatics. He's his favorite director because he knows exactly what he wants out of a shot, and he gets it. He knows exactly what he's wanting before he goes into a shot. Mike and I, we watched an episode of Archer, which Bruce was on, which seemed like a match made in heaven. Bruce Campbell, a sterling Archer. Right. I remember not being too impressed with this episode because it's very confusing. But the character was cool. Yeah, the character was cool. It kept hopping like around. I couldn't understand. It was like just hopping between past and present, because basically the thing is that Bruce plays basically Archer's protege. He made Archer right. The reason Archer acts the way he does is because of Bruce Campbell's character.
It was like his mentor.
It was a mentor. Yeah, he's the mentor, and he's responsible for everything. The way Archer thinks, the way he acts, everything, which was a very awesome, addition to the lore.
Interesting. And I wonder if I've seen that episode or not myself. Do you remember the episode?
Yeah, it's a very weird name. Dingo Baby, etc.
Dingo Baby, etc.
Yep.
Well, that wouldn't ring a bell even if that's the name. Okay.
And then we had this right here. This movie perplexed me. It's McHale's Navy. That was our 4th of July special. For whatever reason, this episode does like crazy on the downloads. It is like constantly being downloaded. I don't know if we said, because the episode, if I remember right, isn't that great, I don't think. And the movie isn't that good.
Yeah, the movie's not good, and our episode on it wasn't that great.
I don't remember us being like too involved in the episode. I think we were just kind of like trying to get it, because none of us had a great time watching it. You could tell in the episode, like all of us was kind of like, let's fucking get this thing over with. But for whatever reason, man, it does great on the downloads. People just love this episode, like download it constantly. It's I'd say easily one of our top 5 episodes. And that's saying something, because that's up there with like Evil Dead Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, those do really well. Our Evil Dead 2 on YouTube is starting to really do it. It's a resurgence that's just,
Yes, check out Evil Dead 1. episode.
No.
But Mikhail's name, for whatever reason, people are going to love this episode. More to it. I mean,
them. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was like, we were going to put this episode. We did it for 4th of July because, Navy. And July, whatever. Yeah. And we were like, put it out. And I was like, this is going. But yeah. And then it fucking. Yeah, we should Uncle Sam. We should go back to that. It's got enough Campbell connection where 2022 Cult of Campbell would count it. And we did this episode and it just does great. Every time I go to look on the pod feeds, it's just constantly being downloaded. It's usually up by like 2 or 3 downloads every time I check. Wow. For whatever reason. It's constantly, but you should check it out on the stats. It's wild. It's an anomaly. I can't explain it.
Okay. I definitely will. Yeah.
And that was our 4th of July special. And also, we took our very first hiatus, which was much needed. We took a hiatus from Cult of Campbell. It was 2-month hiatus. Yep. And I was concerned about that. I was like, this, because I ever since day one, I've always talked about like inconsistency kills a podcast.
Yep. That's what does it.
But we prepared for it. We announced it. We were good about it. Right. We decided we was going to take a hiatus from Cult of Campbell just because of the content. We were gearing up for Cultober, which is insane for us. We'll probably end up doing it again this year, honestly, because it didn't seem to hurt our tread much. And I think when we came back, people were welcomed us back pretty easily. So we took a nice 2-month long hiatus. And that way Mike could catch up on things. We could catch up on things. I was geared up for Cult Talk Conspiracy.
Right. Because, this year is when you guys started that up. So that took a lot of...
we needed time to prepare for that. Yep. This Cultober was, I think, as big as the year previous.
If not bigger. Yeah.
This upcoming one. Get ready for the next one, guys.
Yeah.
We'll make an announcement on that here at some point. But get ready for Cultober 2023.
Yeah,
I'm scared. I'm scared. It's not just the movies. I'm just scared of this. Oh shit, we're about to bring out on Cultober 2023.
About to lay it all out on the
We're
table.
about to, Again, it's insane. I made that graphic. I don't know if you've seen it in the group chat. I made the graphic of what the schedule looks like for Cultober.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. We've just about got that month filled up.
Just about.
Yeah,
so look out for that, guys. Cultober 2023. Mark your calendars.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good one.
There's going to be a whole lot of Cultober in your face.
A lot
in your ears.
And we came in the Cultober 2022 hot. The very first episode of Cult of Campbell. I've been telling you guys since day one. Maniac Cop 2 is a good fucking movie, and no one believes me. We were in preparation for Cultober, and we have like a meeting or we're talking about what we're going to do, what movies. And I was like, well, we're bringing back Cult of Campbell, so I have to find 5 horror themed episodes for Cult of Campbell, which is, we burnt through a lot of shit, so it's getting kind of tough to find things. So I was like, what about we do Maniac Cop 2 its own episode? And I'll never forget Urs just straight up saying, like, I'm not doing that. And like Urs is pretty chill. Urs is usually like, I'll do whatever you want, just tell me when, whatever. He's like, I'm not being on that. And I was like, so Mike begrudgingly said, all right, I'll do it, because no one else was jumping to be on it.
We all refused. Yeah, we all refused to do Maniac Cop 2 with you.
And that episode ended with Mike becoming a Maniac Cop 2 fan because it is a great fucking movie. It is a fun flick. And I have Mike on recording saying that. He loved the movie. Ty was right on this one.
Yep. You guys had a good episode. That was a good episode for you too. That was
probably one of my favorite episodes. For a long time, Maniac Cop 1 was one of my favorite episodes because we just we were all just like so ready to tear into that fucking movie.
That was such a wild time. Yeah,
that was a great flick. Wild. And Maniac Cop 2 episode, I think, lived up to that because it was so fun. I might have to push for one of the Cult of Campbells this year to be a Maniac Cop 2 Part 2.
Just as can Ty win over the others. Oh, God.
That'd be fun. Because, again, I got to find 5 episodes of Cult of Campbell that are horror themed. We've already burnt through everything. So
yeah.
We'll figure it out. But maybe that's a good episode. That's a good idea, Eric. I might do that. Thank you.
Oh, wait. What? No. Oh, God.
Then Bailey and I did our first episode of just us two together. Just the Cult Talk Conspiracy crew on Cult of Campbell. We did Mind Warp. Fangoria produced horror film of the 90s. Notable because this is where Bruce met his now wife, his spouse. Met her on set. And this movie, not good. Not good at all. Did not enjoy it. Super forgettable. I say it in there. I think Bruce needs to avoid movies with the word mind in them.
I agree.
Yeah, so I did not enjoy it. It was not for me. Yeah, Mind Warp, Menno's Mind. It's got mind in it. Stay away. I think just 2-word titles. Well, there's Evil Dead, so I guess I can't really say that.
Yeah, and you can't really. Tornado is a single word.
Single word, yeah.
Wasn't good.
Yeah.
True. Sorry, tornado exclamation mark.
Right. Because there's another movie I have called Time Quest that we haven't watched yet. I've had it about a year now, somewhere on my shelf, but I haven't watched that yet. So we gotta watch that at some point.
That's a Bruce Campbell movie too?
It's a Bruce Campbell movie. It's about, I think, someone travels back in time and stops JFK's assassination and how it alters history. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe we can save that for election time.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Why not do a movie about an assassination around then? Have you
this is off topic, but I found this movie the other day. I was watching a movie on Die Hard knockoffs, and I found there's this movie called Assassin AD, and it's about these Islamic terrorists who plan to go back in time to assassinate Jesus before he gets crucified.
Wow.
So these Christian students have to travel back in time to stop the Islamic terrorists because Jesus has to die on the cross. He can't assassinate them before.
Yeah.
So
wow. So that's a movie. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote that.
Somebody check it out. It should be an Easter special.
Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's just
we'll talk about it off air. I'll bring it up in the group chat. We'll see what it says. We of course had to if we're doing Cult of Campbell, we need to get those hits. So we're bringing it back for a month. We decided to do Army of Darkness, Bubba Hotep, the comic book. What more could you ask for, honestly?
Oh, yeah. That was great. That was great. That
was a fun time. A lot of unanswered questions. I think there's a Bubba Hotep comic series. I think we missed. That's why we didn't catch all the references.
Okay.
I think Dark Horse or Image, whichever one did that, I think they actually have a separate series. There was like several scenes in there where I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know what these references were.
Yeah.
What they were talking about. But great. If you guys haven't, check that out. It's Ash Williams interacting with Elvis Presley from Bubba Hotep. It was a fun time. Yeah. And then we did a movie that I spent more money on this than I spent on anything else in this show. We did Terminal Invasion, the 2001 Sci-Fi Channel original Terminal Invasion. Not the thing. It's not the thing.
Totally not the thing.
Totally not the thing. It's completely different in concept and
different in every single way.
There's nothing there.
Plot beat by plot beat. No, definitely not.
I had that. That was a movie that got me with rose tinted glasses because I remember when I was a kid watching that and loving it. Yeah, and I thought surely I'm not mistaken. This movie is great. Everyone's gonna love it. I can't wait to show her once. Again, I was right on that high from Mike admitting I won a Maniac Cop 2.
You thought, now
here we go. Hit him with the old Terminal Invasion. Which didn't go that way.
I am disappointed in myself not understanding the Terminal Invasion pun until I think.
Yeah, how'd you miss that?
I don't know. I should have got that. It's so obvious. It was just too obvious. That's what.
Too obvious? Okay.
Yeah, it was that. That's what I'm going to blame it on. Yeah, too obvious.
Okay.
It caught me unawares. Terminal Invasion.
I think I got that when I was a kid. When I was watching it, I was like, that's clever. What a smart name for this smart movie.
So clever.
I actually seen someone at Bruce Fest getting that signed by him.
Really?
Yeah.
A DVD of Terminal Invasion.
Yeah. That was an interesting choice. Take that and get signed.
Hey, yeah.
Sure. I bet there's not very many copies signed out there. So there's not very many copies out there in general. It doesn't seem like the amount of money I had to pay for it. So, and then this was a shock to me because I had high hopes for this movie going into it. Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat, starring Bruce Campbell,
among other people, depending
on
which movie you were watching at the time.
Yep. And 1989 vampire movie Western, I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
jam packed with like character actors that you'll recognize from a lot of things. You watch it, there's constantly someone where you're like, oh, that guy, hey, there's that guy.
Yeah.
And it was such a good concept on paper.
Yeah, but I think they just tried to have their cake and eat it too. They
really did try to cram like 5 movies into one movie.
Yeah. Any one of those plot threads would have probably been a pretty good movie, but
yes.
Yeah, just all those things together just did not do it. Good act. They had a good cast, great cast, like you said. But
yeah, this is one of those movies that you could take today and they could turn into a universe.
Oh yeah, there you go.
They could do that.
Yeah.
They could do this one fucking movie because it was like some Marvel executive crammed one phase into a movie.
Yeah,
because it was nuts. And there was such a big letdown because you had David Carradine as I don't want to give it away who he was.
Spoil.
He was a pretty prolific vampire in this. I don't want to give it away because it really gets you at the end. You're totally you're stunned.
Off.
Yeah,
knowing. Yeah, don't spoil who that might be.
And Bruce plays the great grandson of Van Helsing, who is like hardly utilized at all. He's just like, there's moments where he pops up in this movie and you're like, oh, it's a Bruce Campbell movie. That's why we're watching this. Because there's times where you're watching this, what the fuck am I watching this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got Bruce Campbell. That's why I'm being forced to watch it.
Yeah. That's why I'm being forced. So we'll see him again in about 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Where he pops up and does nothing to progress the plot. But that was Sundown. That was our Halloween special.
Yeah.
And that capped off that Cultober. And then we had planned on taking another hiatus. We planned on taking another hiatus, but something fell into our lap and we ended up doing an entire month of content out of it.
What could that have been?
That was Bruce Fest 2022 from Estes Park, Colorado, featuring the man himself, Bruce Campbell, and Ted Raimi. Mike, Eric, and I got to go and visit Bruce Fest and be a part of the festivities. We weren't just there. We got to do a live show. We got to meet Campbellites. We got to meet Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi and host a panel with them.
Yeah, it was super at the Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley Hotel, the location that inspired The Shining.
Yeah. So, and we found out some other connections there too. Bruce had talked about how it was kind of Stephen King's commentary on The Evil Dead that helped launch that franchise. So it was all kind of coming full circle for him too. And that was
wild,
man. So, and the people behind that are just so great.
Such good people. Yeah, I don't want to start naming names. I know I'll forget someone. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, you don't want to leave anybody out.
Everyone that's a part of Bruce Fest, you guys are the coolest, greatest people. For giving us the opportunity. I'll never forget. Cherish that for a lifetime. That was never in any way when we came with Cult of Campbell did I think that's where this would eventually lead us to.
No, definitely not. Absolutely not. No, especially not at this point in time. You'd think, okay, you gotta go at it for like a few years to get some real traction or attention.
Right. And what about people coming up to us and like wanting pictures of us? How was that? Cool. That was insane. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like us coming up and we'd introduce ourselves like, oh, hi, I'm Ty and Eric from Cult of Campbell. We'd be like, oh my God, you guys Cult of Campbell guys. Can we get pictures with you? It's like, yeah, sure. Of course. We're just celebrities, trying to enjoy our time, but
no, that was really flattering. That was, that was
amazing.
Cool. Really,
met some cool people there. I cannot wait for the next one. And man, just the people we met there are great. That was like, that's the coolest thing is you go to something like that and you automatically have something in common with everybody there. Like you automatically have that thread that you can tie. You can, you're all there for one reason. That's see Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi. So there you go. You got your icebreaker for any conversation. It's not awkward at all.
Yeah,
exactly. We got to give out Cult of Campbell pins, everybody. I think we gave out 100 some pins.
I think so. Yep.
I saw on the other day, someone just posted a picture of their Bruce Campbell collection, and there was a Cult of Campbell pin. I was like, it was such a cool thing. Just like ran to see it in the wild, it wasn't like anyone directing a message toward me or anything. Just scrolling through, someone's like, here's my Bruce Campbell collection. There's a Cult of Campbell pin in the background. So cool to see that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
We came back.
Great fans.
They're amazing fans. We came back after the holidays from Bruce Fest, and we had to get hard back in work because we had to do our Christmas special for Cult of Campbell. And it's one I'd been wanting to do for a while. Didn't know everyone else thought about it. It was Bruce Campbell in a Hallmark movie, One December Night.
One December Night.
And
Yes.
man, what a great flick.
Yeah. And I'm glad that everyone did enjoy. Everyone seemed to enjoy that one.
Everyone did. I remember you being very begrudging about having to be part of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. No, you're a Hallmark guy. I am not a Hallmark guy. Although it's been growing on me just because of how easy they are. Like on the flight.
You get it. Yeah. It's efficient.
Yeah. It's efficient.
Efficient storytelling.
Simple, efficient, pick your word, I guess. And now, but me and Mike would, on our flight out to Bruce Fest, we were watching a Hallmark movie on silent and just like predicting the beats as we went. So it's like, it's nice, easy. It's an easy ride. Yeah. So Ty got to have two of his favorite things together in one movie, and that's a Hallmark.
Bruce movie. Hallmark 3. Bruce Hallmark and all my friends. So
there we go.
We got to record a podcast, and
over. It
was great.
Be that nice anymore.
Yeah, I forced my friends to watch a Hallmark movie.
There it is. Yeah, it's perfect.
And we got another one to watch next year, so hopefully we can all be a part of that soon. And the great thing about it was it wasn't a Hallmark movie like structure. You know what I mean? Right. It wasn't it had that in it, but like the focus was like, here's Bruce Campbell and the other guy, I can't remember his name, but they were super great together.
Yep. Yeah.
Peter Gallagher, maybe, or something like
Peter Gallagher, that was it. Yeah. They were just
great.
Just off Hallmark. They had the Hallmark premise, but I wasn't able to like predict all the beats because I was like, all right, this is standard Hallmark, and it didn't really, I was surprised by some of the things, so that was good.
Great. Yeah. And that was 2022. Cult of Campbell, Groovy year. And I'm going to make an announcement here because we wanted to, we're going into 2023, and we have to keep, reshuffling our deck here with Cult of Campbell because we've got to keep content coming. We got to figure out what the next phase is. And I don't want to do an entire year of Hercules Xena episodes.
Right.
I'm sure Eric wouldn't be opposed to that, but
I would love that. Yeah.
We have to figure out what the next phase of Cult of Campbell is. And I think, Bruce Fest was a huge part of what this next step is for us because we met so many great people at Bruce Fest. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of one person I met and was not just so overjoyed to talk to them about Bruce Campbell, whatever they were into. And that is why we are in 2023. We're going to take a brief hiatus here at the beginning of the year while we retool this new structure and what we're going to do. But we are going to introduce a concept we're calling Tales from the Cult. And what we will be doing is we will be taking, the Campbellites, the Bruce Campbell fans, and put them on the episode. And we're going to focus on the cult of Campbell and interview them, talk to you guys about how Bruce affected your lives, your first time being introduced to Bruce, your favorite Bruce character, your favorite Bruce moment, movie, what have you, and really put the light on the Campbellites because you guys make this show great, and you guys make Bruce Campbell what he is today. So it's time to turn the mic around and show some appreciation. So that is the idea behind Tales from the Cult. And I'm gonna be getting on Discord and Instagram. We talked to people at Bruce Fest about it. Several people we met at Bruce Fest, we've already included them in on what's coming, and we're gonna set up interviews with them. And it's gonna be a fun year.
I am excited for this, kind of just seeing how it's affects like people's entertainment and their lives, how they go about things, getting to go to different. I know Bruce Fest isn't the only Bruce Campbell convention in town.
Yeah, might be more coming. We'll have to
check out.
We'll maybe we'll make some announcements here soon. But it's crazy stuff. This fan base is wild and just some great people, and I really want to be able to showcase that because I don't think Bruce Campbell's fan base like any other fan base. Honestly.
I agree.
And that's not just a cliche thing to say. That's like, honestly, I don't think there's a fan base like it.
Truly. Yeah. Like that you could, they're the type that you can have a lot of passion for this guy and for the movies he does, but it's not like, some of the fan bases that you see out there, it's like, they're really passionate, but they're also kind of toxic, what I mean?
Exactly.
That's certainly not what you run into here. They're like, we love them, blemishes and all, no matter what. Yep. We like the good, we like the bad, everything in between. We just love the guy with the gun.
Good, bad, got the gun. That's the idea for Cult of Campbell going into 2023. We're also going to be doing some revisits because I want to revisit some of the stuff we did in the past. Like I want to revisit Bubba Hotep because that was only our second episode we ever recorded. So it'd be really interesting to go back and relook at that. Now that we've watched so much Bruce stuff and we've heard more and learned more about what in the Bubba Hotep, be great to go revisit that. Stuff like that we're wanting to do. So yeah, Cult of Campbell. We're going to take a brief hiatus here at the beginning of the year where we retool and get things lined up. But we will be back here in 2023, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. It's the Tales of the Cult. We're focusing on you guys. Super excited about where we're taking this.
It's a whole new world for us yet again. We'll see. We'll see
what we do.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like looking back at our next year's Cult of Campbell in review, huh?
Can't wait for it. Can't wait to see how 2023 has in tail for us.
Yeah, because things are already just so different from where they were when we were talking about this last year. We've come a long way.
We met Bruce Campbell.
Long way to go. Yeah.
Share the stage with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Same.
Surely that's right. I mean,
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
we thought getting a like. It's crazy. I think last year our biggest thing we had to gloat about was getting a like from Bruce Campbell on Instagram. Now he shook his hand, sat next to him on stage. But there you have it. That was the Cult of Campbell 2022 year in review. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting the show. It's crazy. This last quarter of the year, we saw such a huge uptick in activity here on Cult of Campbell, as we kind of suspect that would happen after Bruce Fest.
We certainly hope so. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I did not expect the amount of traction we'd get after that. So
yeah, so thank you to our newer listeners too. Like that's got a lot to do with you guys here at the end. So, and of course the listeners that have been with us from the very beginning, back in our when we blasphemed in our very first episode.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for staying. Maybe we should revisit Evil Dead. That'd be a good Cult of Campbell episode.
Yeah, maybe.
The Redemption.
The Redemption. There we go. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social medias at Cult Talk Net. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. I think Ben has stuff on Rumble. By this all kinds of stuff, man. We every social media, and it's super easy to find. Go on just about any platform, search at Cult Talk Net. You'll find something for us. And make sure you guys follow Cult of Lore. That's every first Tuesday and first Thursday and third Thursday of the month.
Yeah, I swear every time.
I swear it's definitely takes. Yeah, it's definitely those days.
Definitely always those days on time.
You can find that in podcast format, all your favorite podcast platforms, and in video form. Eric puts a lot of work in the videos. So if you can, go to youtube.com/culttalknet and check out these videos because Eric puts in some crazy work. You are becoming a savant at using these video editors. So
thank you. Yes. I'm trying. Yeah, the idea is to get better and better as I go. So hopefully that's
kudos to you, sir. And make sure you follow Cult Talk Conspiracy every other Tuesday. You can find that on all your favorite podcast platforms and at youtube.com/culttalknet. Cult of Campbell, of course, here on Mondays. And we are working on Cult of Russell to get that going. So keep out, we'll announce that as it goes. But man, thank you guys for listening. I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
We hope you guys had a great 2022 and an even groovier 2023 ahead. Until next time, stay groovy.
Stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby. That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.